Most vampires claim it's a mythological state of enlightenment, but some few claim to have reached the fabled state of Golconda, or know others who managed it. Supposedly discovered by an ancient vampire named Saulot, Golconda is a state of perfect equilibrium between humanity and the beast. A vampire walking Golconda's path can temper their beast's outrage, subdue their hunger, and even stand in the daylight. Or so it is said. The gifts accompanying Golconda achievements are great, and so many vampires make the pilgrimage. Few succeed on the journey. The route to reaching a state of Golconda has never been accurately recorded. Indeed, Saulot's followers claim the journey is different for every vampire, dependent on their sins. What Golconda does to a vampire when they reach it is also disputed. Some claim it leads to a state of perfect serenity, while others say it makes a vampire into a cold-blooded shark of a predator, no longer susceptible to mindless rage, but just as hungry for blood. You may be a disciple of Golconda, a follower of Saulot's words, or a kindred who wishes to remove the misleading veil of Golconda from other kindred's eyes. An elusive vampire named the Master of Ravens seeks to quash the myth of Golconda once and for all, and you may serve him in this task. Golconda is the state of being of equilibrium, as they say, and it has come up several times in games that I've run. Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome back to our World of Darkness, and we are going over the Loresheet of Golconda for Vampire the Masquerade Tabletop. This is a very interesting lore sheet, and the benefits are undeniable if you take this lore sheet. But it is one of those things that can lead you on an interesting path. Is your character going for redemption? This might be what you're looking for in the process. So let's go ahead and hop in and look at what the dots can give you for this lore sheet. Investing 1 dot into this lore sheet gets you Seeds of Golconda. You have heard of Golconda and can educate others on its nature without seeming like a total amateur. Once per story, you can ask the storyteller for guidance before taking an action, and they will tell you if that action will jeopardize the chance of pursuing Golconda. So this first dot, it offers the chance to have almost like a moral common sense. This right here will tell you whether or not what you are doing will push you further away from Golconda. And I think that might be useful sometimes, because not everything's black and white. And doing one thing to help someone could actually cause more damage to others. Hurting someone could actually help more people. So where exactly does the morality lie? And does morality have anything to do with Golconda anyway? Investing 2 dots into this lore sheet gets you The One True Way. You own a copy of the Master of Ravens' penned One True Way, a treatise on the supposed realities of Golconda. This piece of work tells you that Golconda is a method to become the apex predator, rather than a spirituality redeemed monster. Once per story, this pamphlet gives you 3 extra dice in any social test involving the nature of Golconda. This one's kind of funny because you can use it either way. You can sit there and go, oh, this pamphlet right here, it tells me exactly what Golconda is truly about, and we should fight against this and discredit it. Or you can go, look at this piece of crap. I found this on a park bench, and yeah, this person who's writing about this is obviously out of their mind. Like, depending on your character's point of view, you can use this, and it gives you traits up in conversations about Golconda, regardless of which direction you're standing. That's kind of neat, and I don't know. I don't find many people who play characters who are against Golconda, but I don't know. I think I might have to soon. Investing 3 dots into this lore sheet gets you Saulot's disciple. You cling to the ideals of Saulot, the vampire who traveled to Asia and returned bearing a third eye and the enlightenment of Golconda. You believe in Saulot's teachings, that Golconda is the ultimate way in which a kindred can overcome their cause. You practice a dual existence, allowing your beast and hunger off the reins occasionally, so you can achieve serenity at other times. Whenever you willingly succumb to a frenzy, make a note. You can automatically succeed on your next frenzy test. Disciple of Saulot is an interesting thing when you stop and think about it. You can choose to frenzy so that you don't have to frenzy later. Just remember when you do. If you decide at one point to ride the wave, the next time you can just ignore it completely. This right here does kind of give argument to why is this lore sheet good for both people who are for Golconda and against Golconda. Because I don't really see a benefit for people who are not following Golconda if this says that you're a disciple of Saulot. Not really sure how to place a character who's discrediting Golconda with this type of benefit. It's a thinker. Investing 4 dots in this lore sheet gets you Satisfy the Hunger. You do not need to feed as often as other vampires. Your Golconda focus is to suppress your constant hunger, potentially at the expense of other traits. Your temperance acts as an inspiration to many other vampires. Once per session, you may lower your hunger by 1, but not below 1, without feeding. This one right here gives you a chance to basically say, serenity now, in a way. The idea that, like, when you're hungry, you just get rid of that last point. And sometimes, and as a storyteller, I've noticed that one extra point of hunger that you can just decide to ignore. Like, you can just, I'm at a 5 now, I need to be at a 4. That really does come in handy. But would the person who is following this path of Golconda really be in the situations that would lead to that? I'm sure those situations are going to pop up from time to time anyway in a game, but just as a devil's advocate here, why exactly are they in that situation at this point unless they're fasting and putting themselves through it on purpose? Investing 5 dots in this lore sheet gives you Greet the Sun. You know Golconda's secrets. You may be incapable of walking the path forever, but for as long as you do, you can brave full daylight without suffering harm. However, the night after you walk in sunlight, you wake in a hunger frenzy. You can do this once per story. So with dedicating 5 dots into this lore sheet, once per story, you can walk around in full daylight without worrying about being burned, without suffering from any maladies, without being weakened by anything. But you're going to frenzy as soon as you wake up. So this is something that should be known. If it's something that your character has done before, it's something that you know. So perhaps prepare a room for when you wake up. Perhaps make sure that you have food. Perhaps prepare that you're not going to be able to get out and terrorize your neighborhood or something like that. This is one of those things where you definitely can get some major benefits, and as much as a storyteller, I cannot stand exceptions when vampires can just walk in the daylight. That's like their one thing, right? But whatever. It's once per story. I'll get over that kind of thing. But be prepared. That's really all I can say. So, Golconda as a lore sheet is actually a lot of fun, and I can actually see it being useful when it comes to characters who want to play, like, I guess I should say for players who want to play a character that has that redemption of soul arc. But there's really no telling whether or not Golconda leads one way or the other. I guess we're still going to have to wait for World of Darkness to put out some type of lore on the Master of Ravens and their argument against Golconda. I am Voivode Maquette. Thank you for joining me in this lore sheet review on Golconda for Vampire the Masquerade Tabletop. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Good evening.